Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. JAKOBI MEYERS becoming the supposed new reinforcement of the Pittsburgh Steelers has set off a wave of whispers that refuses to die down. And honestly, the vibe around this rumor feels like one of those rare moments when the entire football community simultaneously raises an eyebrow. People are talking about this like it's that shocking plot twist nobody expected, but everybody secretly hoped for. The way the chatter has grown is wild. Almost as if the moment the words left the mouths of insiders, the entire fan base collectively hit pause on their day and said, "Wait, what?" And suddenly, every hallway conversation, every barbershop debate, every late-night sports forum is circling around one burning question. How true is this? What's really cooking behind those black and gold curtains? Even without an official breakdown from the franchise, the energy feels different, heavier, like the kind of rumor that doesn't appear out of thin air. It comes from somewhere. It comes from movement. And if JAKOBI MEYERS is truly gearing up to wear that Steelers uniform, then the team dynamic, the locker room chemistry, and the offensive identity might be on the verge of a fascinating reshuffle that fans didn't see coming. The buzz keeps expanding because nobody can deny the interesting timing. Whenever a player with MEYERS' profile gets tied to a franchise as traditional and as emotionally charged as the Steelers, the narrative practically writes itself. People start imagining him walking into that iconic facility, shaking hands with staff, getting that first equipment room tour, and taking in the atmosphere that so many legends once called home. Even if nothing is officially confirmed beyond whispers, there's something magnetic about the idea. It's like the rumor has already grown legs and started sprinting across social media faster than any defensive back could track. Fans are posting edits, speculating about playbook fit, imagining how he'd look lined up on the outside or sliding into the slot with that calm, technical presence he's known for. And while analysts are trying to keep a measured tone, they're clearly intrigued. There's a different pitch in their voice when MEYERS' name gets brought up, as if everyone senses that something big might be shifting behind the scenes. It's the kind of rumor that doesn't just float, it grabs attention by the collar and demands to be discussed. Another factor adding fuel to the fire is the way Pittsburgh supporters are reacting. Steelers Nation is loud, loyal, and unapologetically passionate, and once they latch onto a rumor, they treat it like a spark ready to ignite. The comment sections are overflowing with excitement, curiosity, and a little playful chaos as fans debate whether MEYERS brings the perfect blend of route-running precision and reliable hands the team has been craving. People are imagining him stepping into that offense like a missing puzzle piece, the kind that suddenly makes the whole picture clearer. And even though nobody inside the organization has offered details, the vibe around the locker room, based purely on insider talk, has reportedly shifted. There's talk that players are whispering, coaches are nodding, and some folks connected to the franchise are acting like they know more than they're saying. It's that kind of tension, that quiet before the storm energy, that has everyone thinking this rumor might be closer to reality than anyone anticipated. And honestly, the way the conversation keeps building suggests something is definitely brewing. What's also fascinating is how this potential move fits into the wider storyline of the Steelers' recent decisions. It's no secret that the team has been exploring ways to refresh certain aspects of their offensive identity, looking for the right balance between speed, intelligence, and adaptability. MEYERS, with his reputation for disciplined execution, seems like the kind of player who could seamlessly slide into a system that values consistency and resilience. Fans are already imagining the chemistry he could form with the current offensive pieces, visualizing those clutch moments where his presence could make the difference between a stalled drive and a statement play. And because Pittsburgh is known for building around players who bring both grit and football IQ, the rumor feels oddly fitting. The more people talk, the more believable it becomes, not because there's an official announcement, but because the narrative aligns with the team's current arc. It's one of those rare rumors that feels almost too perfectly timed to be coincidental, And that's exactly why sports talk shows, podcasts, and debate panels can't stop circling back to it. Analysts have tried to dissect every angle of this chatter, and even though nobody wants to jump the gun, there's a sense that this story has deeper layers. Some insiders claim that the front office has been quietly assessing the market, looking for players who can bring immediate value without disrupting the core culture. Meyers, with his reputation for consistency and professionalism, checks a lot of those boxes. And while no one knows what conversations have actually taken place behind closed doors, the tone around league insiders suggests that something substantial was at least discussed. Fans, of course, have turned this into a full-blown storyline, creating hypothetical charts, predicting potential alignments, and imagining how Meyers could be used in red zone situations or during high-pressure third downs. The internet loves a narrative that feels both unexpected and believable, and this one sits perfectly in that sweet spot. The excitement isn't just about the player. It's about what his arrival could symbolize for a franchise standing on the edge of a new chapter. And then there's the emotional side of it all. Steelers Nation doesn't just welcome players. They embrace them, fold them into the identity of a city that breathes football. The rumor of Meyers joining the team has sparked conversations not just about strategy, but about chemistry, culture, and leadership. People are wondering how he'd bond with teammates, how he'd carry himself in that iconic black and gold, and what kind of imprint he could leave on a franchise built on toughness and heart. Even casual fans, the ones who might not track every roster update, have jumped into the conversation simply because the name JAKOBI Meyers paired with Pittsburgh Steelers has a satisfying sound to it. It clicks. It resonates. It feels like the kind of rumor that carries emotional weight, not just statistical intrigue. And that's why it has taken over group chats, sports bars, and every corner of social media like a storm nobody saw coming. Moving into the second wave of chatter, the conversation has shifted from "could this happen" to "what would this actually look like?" Fans are imagining the first time Meyers steps onto the practice field wearing Pittsburgh colors, the moment cameras zoom in on that jersey, and the subtle body language of teammates welcoming him into the fold. The speculation is cinematic at this point, almost like people are mentally storyboarding a documentary that doesn't exist yet. Supporters are visualizing him running crisp routes under the cloudy skies of Pittsburgh, hearing the echoes of cheers during open practices, and slowly becoming a familiar figure in highlight reels shared by the team's social media accounts. And even though none of that is official, the rumor has already taken on a life of its own, big enough that fans speak about it not as a hypothetical, but as something that feels emotionally real. When a story reaches that level of imagination, it's a sign that the audience is fully invested in the possibility, whether or not it ultimately materializes. Talk among analysts has also turned toward what Meyers could represent for the team's long-term vision. There's a belief floating around that the Steelers have been quietly crafting a new blueprint, one that values versatility and technical precision, and Meyers fits that mold almost too perfectly. People are wondering if this rumor hints at a bigger plan, perhaps a new phase focused on sharpening the passing game, tightening offensive execution, and creating more stability in key moments. Some insiders are even speculating about how this potential acquisition could influence draft priorities, rotation patterns, and matchup planning against divisional rivals. The rumor has become a puzzle piece that fans keep trying to place on a board, shifting it around, imagining the broader picture. And the more they analyze, the more they convince themselves that this move, if it happens, could mark a meaningful shift in the Steelers' offensive trajectory. It's that combination of strategy and curiosity that has kept the conversation burning nonstop. What's also capturing attention is the personality factor. Meyers is seen as a calm presence, a thinker on the field, someone who brings poise during chaotic moments. Steelers fans, who value grit and reliability, are drawn to that demeanor. People are imagining him in press conferences, offering thoughtful answers, connecting with the fan base through that grounded energy that Pittsburgh appreciates so deeply. The city loves workers, players who show up, put their head down, and deliver. The idea of Meyers joining a franchise built on that identity hits a nerve in the best way. Rumor has it that even players currently on the roster would welcome his style, feeling that his approach aligns with the culture that defines the locker room. Fans, meanwhile, are already celebrating the possibility as if it's a done deal, making fan art, mock-ups, and hype videos. It's the kind of rumor that doesn't just stir excitement. It sparks creativity, nostalgia, and anticipation all at once. From a narrative perspective, this rumor is like a wildfire. It started small, sparked by whispers, then grew into something massive and emotionally charged. People are now dissecting every small clue: body language during interviews, ambiguous comments from insiders, sudden silence from certain reporters who normally talk too much. The theory building has become its own sport, and fans are loving every minute of it. Some claim they've heard from a friend of a friend that the move is already done. Others are convinced the front office is being intentionally quiet to build suspense. The internet thrives on mystery, and this rumor has become the perfect storm of uncertainty, hope, and speculation. Whether the move happens or not, the story itself has become entertainment, a shared experience bonding fans through excitement and curiosity. And that's the magic of a rumor like this. It becomes bigger than the initial spark, evolving into a full-blown cultural moment within the fan base. There's also a human side to all of this that fans are beginning to consider. Imagining Meyers making the transition to the Pittsburgh environment adds a layer of warmth to the rumor. They picture him stepping onto the streets of the city, feeling that blue-collar heartbeat, experiencing the loyalty of a fan base that embraces its players like family. They imagine him discovering those local spots players always talk about, making connections with teammates, and carving out his own place in the lineage of receivers who've left a mark on the franchise. It's not just about football anymore. It's about story, connection, and the emotional thread that ties athletes to cities. This rumor allows fans to dream about that bond forming, and whether or not it becomes reality, the imagination of it has already created a sense of attachment around the possibility. That emotional investment makes the story even louder, even more compelling, and even harder to ignore. As the discussion continues to swirl, one thing has become unmistakably clear. This rumor has grown beyond the usual off-season chatter. It has become a movement, a conversation that refuses to fade, a storyline that fans hold onto because it represents hope, evolution, and the thrill of imagining what could be. Whether JAKOBI Meyers ultimately steps onto the field wearing black and gold, or this remains one of those legendary almost-happened moments, the excitement generated by the rumor alone has already written itself into the unofficial history of Steelers talk. People will remember this wave of speculation because it captured something powerful, a collective energy, a shared anticipation, a glimpse of what the future could look like. And for now, fans are riding that wave with full enthusiasm, letting the possibilities swirl, letting the imagination run wild, and waiting to see whether this whisper becomes a headline or remains a story cherished for the thrill it brought while it lasted. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The momentum around this rumor has reached a point where even the quietest corners of the fan base are leaning in, trying to catch every new whisper floating through the football world. People are discussing it in cafes, in group chats, even in random conversations between strangers standing in line, because the idea of JAKOBI Meyers potentially stepping into the Steelers system has hit that special nerve where excitement meets uncertainty. It's the kind of rumor that feels like it could tip either way at any moment, and that tension alone has made the storyline irresistible. Fans are letting their imaginations run wild, picturing creative formations, imagining Meyers building instant chemistry with the offense, and wondering what kind of statement it would send to the rest of the league if this move actually materializes. And because nothing has been officially denied, every small silence adds another layer of intrigue to the situation, making the rumor feel more alive with each passing hour. What really keeps this topic burning is the way people are connecting dots, even when the dots might not actually be connected. A cryptic social media post, a subtle comment in an interview, a sudden spike in insider chatter. Every tiny detail becomes a clue in the eyes of fans desperate to decode what's happening behind the scenes. Some believe there's a calculated strategy unfolding in Pittsburgh, that the front office is quietly assembling pieces for a more dynamic offensive identity, and Meyers would be a perfect part of that blueprint. Others think the rumor might have started from a simple conversation and then snowballed into something huge because of how passionately the fan base reacts to even the smallest sign of change. But regardless of where it originated, the conversation has become bigger than logic. It's emotional now, it's cultural, and it's impossible to ignore because fans have embraced the speculation like a spark that suddenly lit up the entire offseason. At this point, the rumor has taken on a kind of mythic quality, the kind that becomes part of the storytelling tradition among fans who love drama, suspense, and the thrill of imagining the next great chapter in their team's journey. People are already joking that even if this move never happens, they'll still remember the chaos it caused, the excitement it ignited, and the way it united the fan base in one massive conversation that stretched far beyond the typical boundaries of off-season speculation. It's rare for a rumor to have this kind of reach, to become a narrative that feels almost cinematic, but this one has managed to do exactly that. And until the truth finally comes out, whether it confirms the buzz or ends it, fans are fully committed to riding this wave, enjoying every twist and turn, and holding on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, this whisper turns into a reality that reshapes the Steelers' story in a way nobody saw coming. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.